Jimmy G and the San Francisco 49ers are going to be traveling to LA to take on the Rams. This is the third time these guys have faced off. This is going to be the NFC Championship game. Rams at home. We're playing in a dome. Outside doesn't really matter, but it is going to be beautiful. 69 degrees there in LA for the game. Rams favored by 3.5 points at home, over under 46. Obviously, Rams come into this game as the favorite based on the line. They've looked really, really good. Matthew Stafford finally had, kind of a big defining moment in his career, winning a big playoff game last week. Comeback victory against Tom Brady, etc. So, big things happening for LA, but for some reason, this 49ers team scares me a little bit. I don't know if they scare you a little bit.
Bro, they scare me shitless. They scare me shitless because you can't game plan for any of this shit. You don't know who's going to be the running back when. You don't know who's going to do what. All you know is Jimmy Garoppolo's not that good. Yep. That's all you know.
That is true.
Yeah, and the Rams have not beat the 49ers this year.
Yeah.
0-2 against the 49ers. So, what are they going to do differently to come out on top? They're going to have to stop Deebo Samuel, who can do everything. He can run the ball.
He is a little injured, though. He did get hit on the side of his leg.
At the end of the game,
yeah. So they might have to limit him a little bit, but we don't know. They won't give us that information because it's their biggest weapon, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna downplay the hell out of that.
Game plan as if he's healthy. Yeah.
This is playoffs. I can't imagine Deebo Samuel taking a backseat when it matters against the Los Angeles Rams.
Sure.
Some things to note is Cam Hayward has only one sack against the 49ers in the last 3 games. So he's not stepping up like he needs to. Mm-hmm. However, they are allowing pressure from like Von Miller. Mm-hmm. I mentioned Cam Hayward.
Aaron Donald, you mean?
Aaron Donald. Did I say Cam Hayward?
Oh, okay.
Hey,
now
Steelers fan right
there?
there?
Wow. I just went super on the yellow and black instead of Aaron Donald does not have a sack, or has only 1 sack in the last 3 games. But Von Miller and company, there's this guy. He's got an interesting name. I can't. Oh yeah, Orgbonia Okoronkwa. Yeah.
Okay.
He's a defensive line.
Okay.
Putting pressure on the on the defensive line side. So yeah, guys like that have been stepping up. They have 48 pressures in the last 2 games. So that's what they need to do. Pressure Jimmy Garoppolo, force him to have turnovers. There's a lot of matchups there to look at. OBJ versus Emmanuel Mosley. I'm interested to see if OBJ can come up on top because Cooper Kupp is going to be double teamed, is my assumption. I mean, he's got over 100 yards in the last 2 games, so they've got to stop Cooper Kupp. I can see an opportunity for OBJ to play really well this week. But this is a toss-up for me. Either I think 49ers can come up on top, but Rams are a good team, so Stafford's been doing pretty well. So
yeah, I think you can go back 2 months when people started saying we need to double Cooper Kupp. Has it worked? No, it's never worked. Right? They're still going to feed Cooper Kupp. He's probably going to see 12 to 13 targets, and he's going to get over 100 yards, and he might get 2 touchdowns. Right? Like that seems like the safest thing I have said all week. So basically, the main thing is that he's going to get the volume. Right? So that being said, if they're feeding Cooper Kupp doing what they normally do, they're probably going to score over 24 points. They're going to play their usual Rams football. I don't see the Rams changing anything. I don't see them deviating away from what's working because they've won, 7 of their last 8 games now. But there is an Achilles heel, and that's the 49ers, unfortunately, for the Rams. Yep. There's one team they did not want to see in this very moment right here. It's the 49ers, and here they are. And you
Packers
mentioned
said the same thing last week.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. Kyle Shanahan's the GOAT, man. Kyle Shanahan's freaking amazing. So I did want to mention, you mentioned that they had they lost both their games this season, right? Mm-hmm. Well, they go a lot farther back than just this season. They haven't beaten them in about 6 or 7 games in a row, going back a couple of years. Trying to find that stat. It's here somewhere. But yeah, it extends much farther than just this season. And then to make things worse, better to actually help them out a little bit, help the Rams out in this really shitty situation they've kind of just found themselves in where they can't find ways to beat the 49ers for many, many, many years. Entering this NFC Championship game, the 49ers have a total of 2 touchdowns in 20 offensive possessions. You think that's going to cut it to beat the Rams? Absolutely not. It worked out in certain situations. The weather probably played a role in Green Bay, unfortunately, to Aaron Rodgers' demise. However, no weather concerns, no concerns at all in any form for the Rams as far as, the outside of football stuff, as far as that goes. And you're playing against a team that has been your Achilles heel. However, as of late, in the last 20 possessions, in the most important part of their season, in the most important 20 possessions of their season, they've mustered out only 2 touchdowns. And after we praised Cooper Kupp and we talked about OBJ is going to have a good game and their defense is still very much there, all it takes is probably 2 touchdowns to beat the 49ers looking at this stat. So what are the 49ers going to do?
Yeah, I think it's going to be another like defensive type of game, like because if you think about the last game with the Rams, they tried to run the ball often with Cam Akers, and they weren't able to do that, right? Cam Akers was shut down to like 45 yards.
It was Tampa Bay though. Like they've been notorious to just destroy people to not let run on them.
But the 49ers they've got linebacker Fred Warner who can you can definitely put some key pressure on the running game when they're trying to give it to Cam Akers. So, I don't know. I think that the 49ers defense has a strong opportunity to stop the Rams to score points and really what you got to do is stop Cooper Kupp is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, and well, I mean, funny you mentioned that, right? So you don't even have to stop Cooper Kupp to beat the Rams. Let Cooper Kupp be Cooper Kupp. Yeah. So the 49ers are 2-0 against the Rams this year. Cooper Kupp, that last game, in the one that they lost in overtime, final game of the year, 7 catches, 118 yards, and a touchdown. That's not stopping Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp, the first time they played, where they lost 31-10, the Rams only put up 10 points. Cooper Kupp still had 13 catches, 122 yards. So, you're not stopping Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
You're just saying Cooper Kupp can do whatever the fuck he wants. Nobody else can do anything. And I think that's my I guess that's what I'm going to kind of boil things down to is at the end of the day, we know Kyle Shanahan's a guru. We know Sean McVay's also a guru as well. But when push comes to shove, the person that's going to have the most pressure in this game to me, again, is going to be Matthew Stafford. And he has not fared well against the 49ers this year. Clearly, they've had his number. The first game, only 10 points. Second game, 24 points, but they still lost. Stafford still didn't have a great game. So is Stafford going to be able to get over that hurdle? Because this again, it's tough when you're in the situation in the NFL where it's quarterback dominant, right? Because at the end of the day, it always kind of falls back on the quarterback. And the thing with the Rams is they've had success prior to Stafford. They made the Super Bowl with Jared Goff. So they know Sean McVay's already a good quarterback. The only person that could hold them back from reattaining that success is going to be Matthew Stafford. So he can't be the reason they lose the football game, but that's the biggest variable to me is the 49ers, again, they're predicated on doing things that other people don't. Literally, Mike McDaniel's press conference was, hey, what do you guys like about all these different things we do? He's like, do you see other teams doing it? No, that's why we do it. Weird.
Savage.
Right? So just do things that other people don't. And that, to me, means they're going to game plan for Matthew Stafford, right? They're going to game plan in a way that Matthew Stafford is not going to be able to just stop, drop back for 7 seconds, Cooper Kupp's running free and getting in the ball. And so that, to me, is the biggest key in the 49ers winning is I think they're going to have success running the football still. I don't think that's going to be stopped. So Jimmy Garoppolo's window for making errors is going to be shrinking because I think they'll have success running the ball and then setting up for play action. Because we talked about outside of the Rams, big cogs, their defense is still, you can still throw the ball against them. You can still run the ball. You can still move the ball against them, right?
Yeah, middle of the pack.
Yeah.
Very middle of the pack.
Von Miller's been stepping up. You always have Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, big names. So I think the 49ers are going to have success running the football. I think the play action is going to work. I think what's going to need to happen is Matthew Stafford is going to have to put pressure on the 49ers by being able to either score early, big plays, touchdowns, something that they weren't expecting out of him, first play action, 40-yard bomb, right? Showing that there's holes in that defense that Stafford can get, that's going to change how the rest of that game goes. But if they just fall into the hands of the 49ers for the first quarter and a half, then they've been sucked and lured in, and I don't think they're going to get out of that.
So I'm looking at this like a long-term situation just from a viewer standpoint, right? If the 49ers find a way to win this game, they're going to get murdered in the Super Bowl. Absolutely destroyed. The Rams have a better chance than the 49ers to keep up with the Chiefs. So I'm looking at it from that perspective, right? You mentioned Matthew Stafford. Jimmy Garoppolo is just as suspect, if not more suspect than, but he just doesn't have to do as much because their run game is so strong. However, if the Rams do stop the run game, this game's over.
I don't see them doing that.
Okay, but I'm
The
just saying.
49ers are the best running team in the league, right? They've already played 2 times and they haven't been able to stop the run. I just, they have the talent. I just think the scheme for the 49ers trumps the talent that any run defenses usually have. Maybe outside the Buccaneers, but I don't know. But I just think the Rams' holes have been there so much and so often that I don't, they're not just going to come into this game and, completely shut down the best running team in the NFL.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if the game becomes that, if any team ends up scoring 30 points, I think it's going to be very difficult to side on the 49ers winning this game.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm just trying to find, reasons why this could go wrong. Matthew Stafford, obviously Matthew Stafford, Jimmy Garoppolo, and what happens if these guys can't do what they do, right? If Matthew Stafford doesn't get going, big problem. If Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't get going, they still have the run game. So, we're going to see how this plays out. Historically, clearly, Kyle Shanahan has something Sean McVay doesn't. Maybe that's why he was the tight ends coach. I don't know. But, it's going to be interesting because whoever wins this game, if the 49ers win this game, it's going to be a really, really sad Super Bowl. If the Rams win this game, it makes it a little bit more interesting.
Damn. If the 49ers win, you think it's over?
Yeah, it's over. It's over. Yeah, I'm calling it right now. 49ers make it, just go home.
I'm just interested to see what they'll do.
Dude, it's Kyle Shanahan. I'm never ruling out Kyle Shanahan in anything.
Yeah,
you said earlier the 2 greatest minds, Kyle Shanahan, maybe outside of Andy Reid, right?
Outside of Andy Reid. Who was he facing?
But
Andy Reid.
I think Andy Reid gets a ton of credit now because of Patrick Mahomes. Yes, with Donovan McNabb, they were constantly in the NFC Championship game, but they also constantly lost because in key situations and stretches they did not execute well. They didn't win a single Super Bowl there. Donovan McNabb didn't win a single Super Bowl.
Right. Again, you like to point, fingers at certain positions, for taking the fall. Like a quarterback takes the fall for you in many situations, right? I don't look at things like that. So, taking a team to a certain position to win is just as good as winning in certain positions because it's out of, I'm looking at it from a very different perspective. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, winning is the goal here. But setting your team up for success, it already puts you in a different echelon when you do that consistently. So I'm not saying that Andy Reid was very successful in the Eagles but what I'm saying is there's a reason he is respected widely throughout the league and nobody will bat an eye in this conversation. If you ask actual NFL players or coaches, they'll be like, yeah, you're talking to a guy that loves Kyle Shanahan more than probably many people you'll meet, right? So I get that. I'm just saying, with everything we talked about the Chiefs in the other game and how offensively firepowered they are, and there's a lot more weaknesses in the San Francisco 49ers side, but they also find ways to win like crazy. I just think at the rate that the Chiefs are going, I don't know if Jimmy Garoppolo can do anything at that point.
Let's make sure the Chiefs even get there first. We've seen the wildest season of the fucking year ever, so I'm not counting anything out. Obviously, if we're just stack ranking them, the Chiefs are the best team in the playoffs. That's why they're the best odds to win the Super Bowl. That's as clear as day. But what I'm saying is, for us being so gung-ho about not counting anybody out till the fat lady sings, till the final buzzer sounded, before the Super Bowl has even happened, we're basically assuming that if the 49ers make it, they have literally no shot.
Yeah, well, that's why this is a podcast, right? That's why people post stuff on the internet. That's why there's news. This is a conversation. I'm not going to sell my house on this topic because that's stupid. But it is a valid, from everything I've said today, I'd be lying if I said, I've said so many good things about the Chiefs. I've said so many good things about the Bengals. I've said so many good things about the Rams. But the things I've said about the 49ers don't instill fear on the opponents. They find ways to win. They're like the Titans, but better, right? As far as things go. It's just that if that were to happen, if they had to go up against the Chiefs, I'm finding it very hard to entertain the fact that they win that game. That's it. That's all. It's all skepticism, right? We're making points. We're calling shit. You're making bets out there. That's all guessing too. We're just making stuff up.
Yeah, that's fair. I definitely would love to see a 49ers, Andy Reid, Kyle Shanahan. That would be unreal because you're going from a young offensive mastermind to an older seasoned offensive mastermind. And then obviously talent-wise, the Chiefs out-trump the 49ers in almost every position, right? So, yeah, it would really be a David versus Goliath matchup. You're not wrong. I just think the 49ers, I don't know how, and that's been the phenomenon is how are they here?
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo sucks. They don't belong here, but they're here. And they're here, and they're one win away from a fucking Super Bowl. So,
Right.
however they're doing that, however Jimmy Garoppolo is winning 75% of his starts there with being a shitty quarterback. I don't know how the hell they're doing that either. But something they're doing with the lack of talent that we see kind of jumping out to us is different. And that's why when it's different, it's hard to count out completely.
Yeah, no, I get it. I think the 49ers are going to beat the Rams because historically, it's just I don't know how the Rams are going to figure this out.
3.5 points to me is too much. I'd take the 49ers plus 3.5 here.
So, who do you guys think are going to win this game?
I'm going to say 49ers.
Damn. So now all of a sudden we're all on the 49ers.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed. It's the same topic. Like I've always thought the 49ers are going to beat the Rams. I just think if they make it a Super Bowl, it's a little tough.
Yeah. I don't know who's going to win the game. I just think 3.5 points is unfair to the 49ers when, again, the 49ers are not a team that typically gets blown the fuck out because they run the football and they play defense. So and the Rams have Matthew Stafford who could throw 3 interceptions in like 3 possessions straight.
So if you had to pick, who's going to win the game?
I would put money on the 49ers. I don't know who's going to win.
But if you had to pick one team to win the game.
49ers.
Okay.
Yeah, 49ers. That's fine. I'm just thinking, when I think about winning, like picking and then winning here means less to me than the fact that the team that's almost equally valued is 3.5 point dogs.
Yeah.
So if I take a money line, I'm like 2-1 odds almost there. That's unreal. The talent gap in these two teams, specifically the fact that they played twice and the dogs won both times, does not indicate that the Rams should be 3.5 point favorites. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but this is like a gun to head situation. It's just a picking situation, right? So.
Gun to my head, give me the 49ers.
Yeah. I'll take the 49ers.
But
as well.
I am very skeptical in this decision. It's not as easy as the other decisions.
That's why it's gun to your head.
Yeah.
Well, I
don't
don't know.
You don't have time to be uneasy.
I'm not sure.
The gun
Bills
is
and
at your
Chiefs-
head. The gun is at your head. There's
40
no thought process. That's why.
49ers.
Yeah, that's why it's gun to your head. There's no time to think.
I'm going to pick Debo Samuel and that running game.
Until the Rams can prove they can beat the 49ers, I'm going to ride the 49ers.
I also think it's great for football. I think that if the 49ers were
It's huge.
able
I would
to,
fucking love
if
that.
Garoppolo and that running game is able to beat the Rams and the Kansas City Chiefs, like it's gonna take out everything. All these
it
conversations
changes
that we had
everything.
about quarterbacks and all
Yeah.
of that stuff. Like, what's the formula now? You know,
back to the run game.
What defense wins championships? Like running game wins championships. What is it?
like
Kyle Shanahan
3 out of
wins
every
championships.
10 years, like 70%. I don't know what the stat is. I feel like I've done this research recently, but like 7 out of 10 Super Bowl winners are always like their quarterback is either a rookie scale contract or they're a future Hall of Famer, right? But we can think of all of those defensive teams that have won because like every 4 or 5 years that seems to happen. That's not uncommon either,
Right.
The Denver Broncos with Peyton Manning, that had no arm.
Chicago Bears
Against
the Colts.
Yeah, literally the Legion of Doom or Boom.
Yeah, that's
Legion
true.
of Boom.
They did have Russell Wilson that time.
They
though.
did have Russell Wilson. That's true.
But yeah, I mean,
But yeah,
obviously.
every once in a while, you're, like the Ravens of the early 2000s, there's always going to be that. But I just
Wait, they
think,
did have Joe Flacco.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
kidding.
a good offense will always beat a bad offense, right? The perfect throw will always beat the perfect defense.
100%.
So it's like, just use that. Like, if we agree on that, then just look at what that extrapolates into. That means you need to put up points, you need to throw the ball, you need to do all these things, and then Kyle Shanahan's out here just playing chess, and everybody else literally
that's literally
playing
the best
chess.
analogy possible.
Yeah.
That's scary. That's fucking
It is.
terrifying.
That's why literally when this segment started, I was like, I'm scared shitless.
Yeah. You don't know. The 49ers could literally come out and Jimmy Garoppolo is not even playing like the first 5 snaps.
Yeah.
Would that surprise you? No, because they could do anything.
Yeah. I'm scared shitless. Unless it's Patrick Mahomes on the other side, I'm scared shitless.
I agree with you. But yeah, I mean, shit, that's going to be an insane game. I cannot wait this weekend. Luckily, both games are on Sunday. Like you said, the Saturday, Sunday stuff, give us some time to like do other things, take care of other things. While
Yeah. Like check our bets.
Yeah.
For example, the bets for this game.
Yeah.
OBJ is at 51.5. And I have that as over. I'm going to say OBJ gets more than 51.5.
So you're seeing a lot of double team cup and opening of the OBJs.
Exactly. It's going to be OBJ versus Mosley, and I think that OBJ, mano y mano, can take on Mosley and get some separation.
I'm seeing a lot of dump offs. I'm seeing a lot of running. I'm seeing a lot of early pressure for Stafford, inaccurate throws early. You're just like, God, is this? That's exactly how I'm seeing this game go. So I worry that the volume won't even, like, I worry that this is an 8-target game for OBJ, but only 3 catches. It's just they're trying to get him the ball there, Jim, but Stafford's just kind of all over the place. That's what I'm expecting this game to look like.
What if both the quarterbacks play how they really play? Then this game turns really, really boring.
Yeah, then it's just a bunch of interceptions.
Yeah.
Then it's just a lot of short fields for the other quarterback, only to throw an interception right back to the other quarterback.
Oh, God, please don't let that happen. At least one of these quarterbacks, please prove me wrong.
Yeah.
At least one of these guys.
I think it'll be a good football game. I think no matter how it shakes out, the last week, did not let us down. I know the week before that it was a lot of blowouts, but let's hope that's not a trend, and let's hope it's just blowout early week, and now it's just going to be close, good games, because these two games on paper are exciting as F. So that's it. Those are the two previews this week. Let's jump into the game.